This video is dedicated to Christian Roberts. Christian, thank you. Akiri Fearless Voyager versus Nicol Bolas the Ravager. And if we get into another land, we've got Hero's Blade onto our commander, that's on curve. We've got a double striker as well. Darksteel Mutation for our opponent's commander, I don't mind, so yeah, let's keep that. We're on the draw as well, so there's every chance we could get into more mana or equipment. And of course, our opponent gets down a turn 1 Sol Ring and a Talisman of Dominance. There's the land that we wanted. We'll try and represent Swords to Plowshares. You never know, we might put our opponent off of playing their commander for a turn. Alright, well, there's the Signet. If they can drop a land here, and they can go in for their commander. We've got Darksteel Mutation next turn at least. And there it is, so we might as well get out the tap land here. And then as for what we discard, I don't know how many creature spells there are going to be in a Nicol Bolas deck, so I'm going to risk Wrath of God going in the bin. Alright, War and Peace might be good. This doesn't change the colour, does it? I always have to check this. Yeah, it keeps the colours, so we should be able to swing through with the sword when we eventually get our commander into play. Grixis should have trouble dealing with the Darksteel Mutation, so and I've noticed that they've gone down quite a few cards there. They're down to 2 in hand, so it might be that they've got bounce spells and stuff like that. Alright, do they have a counterspell for our commander? It's not really the end of the world if they do, to be honest. We could always the next turn go for the Vindicator. Maybe, yeah, I'm not really sure what we'd go for if our commander gets countered here, to be honest. Maybe we just go for the Vindicator. I would really not like to have our commander get countered, but that goes through anyway. I was thinking maybe we could go for the Sword of War and Peace if we get into some fast mana like an Ancient Tomb next turn. City of Brass coming down now, and they do pain themselves. Tapping out for a bunch of stuff. Is this just him to Turak? Nope. Aminatu's Augury. And they get into a bunch of stuff there. A Pain Land in Mana Confluence. A Frost Titan will freeze our land, and yeah, this probably is done for at this point. The Sol Ring was too much for us. They get into another Nicol Bolas. What else have they got here? Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Damnation. Yeah, so it looks like this is Bolas Super Friends. Let's get rid of Bastion Protector. So there we go, those are permanently exiled now. They could only go for one of each card type. Fire Shrieker doesn't do anything for us. We've just been too slow on the mana front. Maybe we'll draw into a land next turn, so let's get down the Hero's Blade and then we can go for our commander and equip it onto there. And then it's a Vampiric Tutor. Our opponent's got all the good stuff in hand apparently. Tapping out again. Only one card in hand, so we'll see what they tutored for. That was Decree of Annihilation. And we have to discard our hand. They are left with a Nicol Bolas in play. Destroy a creature or planeswalker. I mean, yeah, they just get the limit break here, don't they? Each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or planeswalker loses the game. I mean, it's not likely that we'll be able to get enough lands into play to get a creature into play in time. And they can always just destroy it anyway. Oh, but the +1... I thought the +1 was just draw a card, but each opponent exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. Alright, so they've just got us here. Let's concede there. I just wanted to try our luck in getting into enough lands to get a creature into play, but there's all our equipments. We were never, ever, ever going to win that one. Let's try again. Now we've got a 2-lander again. SRAM could help us. Sigarda's Aid is really good. So is Bloodforged Battle Axe with SRAM in play. Got the new Nahiri as well. Up against the Locust God this time. I think that's a keeper. And we'll start things off with the Sigarda's Aid. Need more effects like this in these types of decks, really, because they really do help play against the counter everything matchups. And our opponent just plays a land and passes, so let's attempt to get our Shram into play. And that lands. And more fast mana for our opponent, getting into Mana Crypt, and then Deep Analysis draws them some cards. We do not get into a land that we need, so let's go for the Battle Axe. Might as well swing in for a bit of damage here. And it's a Boros Signet, that won't help us. So let's just swing in at our opponent. And that triggers the Bloodforged Battle Axe, which combos off with the Sigarda's Aid nicely. So now we've got a few of those on there. They are welcome to block with their Locust God, if they want to. Going for the flashback on Deep Analysis, they lose some life and go up to 8 cards, then getting out a tap land and a Mox Opal. So they've got Commander mana now. Oh, actually, the Mox Opal doesn't have Metalcraft yet, does it? So, yeah, actually they don't. Let's drop a land, and we can draw a card with our Commander here. And then if they go for their Commander next turn, it might be worth getting out Thalia so that all the insects come in tapped. I'm just trying to keep lands coming into play at this point. Swing in for 6 with Shram again. We draw with our Akiri. And that's another weenie. We trigger the Bloodforged Battle Axes. We'll put a couple of these onto our Commander, I think. Spread the threats around. So they're down to 14. Let's see if they dodge the bolt. They do. We could do with them taking some Mana Crypt hits, really. Don't think the Locust God is likely to gain all that much life. They might just tap out for their Commander here. Alright, taking an extra turn. That is just a means of trying to get into a land, really. And of course, they dodge the bolt again. Doesn't look like it's going to be our night, but yeah, we could swing in for lethal next turn, maybe. Now, Valakut Awakening is going to be able to get them to select the cards that they want in hand, or select the cards they don't want in hand, I should say. Try and get a bit of card filtering going. And they tap out their blue mana, that's what I like to see. Going for Everflowing Chalice, that will switch on their Mox Opal, so there's every chance they could have counter magic here. And now they've got mana for their Commander. There's a Steam Vents as well. And we get into another land, that's good, so let's play that. And then can we just get the win off this turn? Maybe we get into a 1 mana equipment of some kind that we can just play. Yeah, if it buffs one of our creatures, we could. Let's just go for a wheel here. Pretty risky play, but I'm not too bothered about anything that's in our hand anyway. And I'd rather wheel before our opponent gets off the Locust God. Argument to be made for us going for the Thalia. That might have been a safer play, but I like the idea of winning now. And our opponent's paused, so they might have free counter magic. There's every chance they've got removal or some kind of bounce effect for these as well. Yeah, they've decided to pay the cost on something, and there is a Cyclonic Rift. Now we can't give this hexproof for anything, can we? No. Okay, so we're going to put our Commander back into the command zone here. They were always going to do that during combat anyway. And yeah, there we go. That's what I was going for, something like that. Shadow Spear would have done it as well. So let's drop ourselves a mountain. And then these are 2 to equip, aren't they? Yes. So let's go for Shadow Spear. And we'll draw ourselves a card. And there's another one. Oh, Naginata. So yeah, that plan would have worked had it not have been for the Cyclonic Rift. We forced them to go for it for 2 mana at least. Knocking down half of their life. And we'll put some more Bloodforged Battle Axes onto Shram. We've only got 2 swords in the deck. The Sword of Feast and Famine and the War and Peace. So protection from red would help us here potentially. But we need to draw into it, of course. Now it's high tide from our opponent. They've only got a couple of islands in play, but oh, actually this counts as an island, doesn't it? So they've got 6 mana there alone. What they'd really want to do is go for their Commander, and there we go. In for a wheel after this. So maybe should have gone for the Thalia, like I said, but I mean, they could have bounced that anyway. Yeah, but then I think they were always going to bounce our commander, I suppose, because they couldn't take lethal. Because they couldn't risk taking lethal. There's every chance that we could burn them after we knocked them down to 1, I think we would have done. Anyway, they go for Frantic Search here. So that will draw them a couple of cards, get them into some insects. We do still have Trample, thanks to the Shadow Spear, which our opponent might not realise, so they need to get a hell of a lot of toughness into play here. And the fact that they're not just slamming down a wheel might suggest that they don't have one. And at the moment, we don't have the War and Peace either, so a wheel might just draw us into one. Anyway, they go for the Treasure Cruise, up to 8 cards in hand now, and 9 toughness in play. So now they've got enough to survive. Now pinging themselves with a Scalding Tarn, getting into another island. And don't forget, these tap for twice as much mana, so going for 8 mana now. Hopefully it's not an extra turn card. We know it's not Rift. Well, they're thinking really hard about it, whatever it is they're doing. Now, what was that? A Repeal. Return a non-land permanent with CMC X to its owner's hand and draw a card. They put the mana crit back in hand because they don't want to get bolted by that. Then Snap Mage coming in. And that looks like, yep, they went for the extra turn card. I think it's all flying by really quickly. Went for the extra turn. And now going to start swinging in sideways at us. Now a Mana Vault. As well as a Temple of the False God. Yeah, a lot of tapping and untapping going on. I think our opponent's playing very, very cautiously here. That is Tolarian Winds. Discard all the cards in your hand and draw that many, so they must be after something specific. Either that or they're just trying to make enough insects to beat us out. There we go, they got into Impact Tremors, that'll help them along. Problem is, they've got a blue creature in play now, so even if we do get into the sword, we're not going to have protection from that. But as long as we keep the trample, we should be okay. Now, thinking about attacks, I don't know if they're going to want to swing in with a lot of insects. They're going in with their commander, and going in with Snap Mage as well. Yeah, so leaving 10 blockers back, so we only get 1 point of damage through to them. As it stands now, that is. We've got some cheap artifacts that we can get into play and buff our SRAM with. We can also go for Lightning Greaves to resist some targeted bounce. So let's play the Canyon straight away. And let's see about turning in sideways at our opponent. They've actually got Cyclonic Rift mana held up, so I'm glad that we saw that before now. I mean, they would have wheeled it away by now anyway, but it's good to know that we don't have to play around that. They might have evacuation and stuff like that in the deck. Anyway, blocking with everything. So now we just need the O Naginata, I think. So let's say OK to the blocks. And we'll try and play this. Okay, we get into a Vandal Blast. I don't think that really helps us. We'll try and encourage them to go for the bounce spell that they might have in hand. Maybe they've got counter magic. Alright, it's a counter spell that they've got. So in that case, let's go for the Sword of Feast and Famine. And draw another card. And definitely equip that. Then we might as well go for the Shuko as well. If they hadn't tapped out there, I don't know if I would have saved the Lightning Greaves, saved 2 mana for Lightning Greaves. Anyway, we're going to untap all our lands here anyway, and likely get through for the victory, I think. And there we go. So yeah, it did pretty damn well there, considering our opponent got off to a very good start, and we got off to a pretty poor start. Couldn't get into lands for the first turn or two, but managed to win anyway. So that goes to show why you shouldn't just... I can't concentrate.
Oh, I was just going to say you won.
I won.
Because I heard and I thought, oh, he's won.
I lost my train of thought because you wandered in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it would be okay.
It is okay.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you off. I was just going to say something like, oh, you won.
I won.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just saying that it just goes to show that you shouldn't just concede it straight away because someone's gotten off to a really good start, because you don't know what's going to happen.
And it's happened to you
that's proof of it. It's happened countless times, yeah, where you're looking like you're going to lose, and then if you just keep at it...
It's never over till the fat lady sings.
It's like life, innit?
It is like life. Oh, that's deep.
Oh, it's philosophical and so deep.
No, I'm sorry for interrupting. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm going to go now.
There was this looming presence behind me. I thought, oh, she's here.
What, like a dementor?
Yeah. Frost appeared on the windows and a shadow crept over me.
She's just taking a drink now.
The dementors, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a dementor. I'm your dementor, though.
Yeah, my own personal dementor.
Yeah, follow you everywhere you go.
Yeah, this house is like Azkaban.
Oh no, I'm like creature owner.
Is it called Creature?
Yeah,
there's Dobby and Creature, isn't there?
The bad goblin.
The grump. He's a house elf.
House elf, yeah.
Yeah.
The grumpy one.
Grumpy one, yeah. That's where Cretin came from. Because it's similar to Creature.
I am like Creature though, because I do hide or I skulk around in corners in the house, and then just like appear.
Mumble at passers-by.
Yeah, all the passers-by we get in the house.
Yeah. And then I come along and kick you down and abuse you. Yeah. It's no wonder he's grumpy, because these house elves get abused, don't they?
Yeah, kick me down the stairs. Anyway, I'm gonna nick off with your Wonka bar now. Special Wonka bar.
No, you can't.
Right, I'm sorry for interrupting. Bye.
Yeah, I think I need to get a quick game in to make it best of 3.
Okay, so, good luck. You go get him.
You go, girl. You go, girl.
Yeah, you go, girl. Hun, babe. Oh, yeah, I'll take your rubbish away. Thanks. Cheers for that. I'm not just a bloody... I'm not just a maid, you know.
You're the worst house elf I've ever had.
Right, bye.
Bye.
I didn't slam the door then either.
Up against another new commander, Orah, Skyclave Hierophant this time. And no equipments, but we've got some good creatures. Do we try our luck? We can go for Recruiter of the Guard into Stoneforge Mystic. It's not the best, but we'll keep hold of it. Going in for Stoneforge Mystic off of Recruiter is really slow, but well, it's something we can go for on turn 4 at least. If we get into another land, we could actually go, and there we go, another land. We could go turn 4. Yeah, we could actually go turn 4 Stoneforge, and then in for SRAM as well, ready for the equipment. And there is the first aristocrat, Cartel Aristocrat, or it's an aristocrat enabler. Batterskull for us. I think we are going for the Stoneforge then, because Stoneforge can cheat out Batterskull as well. So next turn we can go SRAM and Stoneforge Mystic. And then I'm quite happy for my opponent to lose their sack outlet, so let's go for the Swiftblade Vindicator. See if they want to trade us. They do want to trade us, surprisingly. That's fine with me. And get into another sack outlet, and another one. Yeah, the deck's ran full of them apparently. Down to 4 cards in hand though. They've got the sack outlets and nothing to actually sack them with. There's another double strike enabler in Core Blade Master. Yeah, might be tempted to go for that next to the Stoneforge Mystic. Let's go for this first anyway. And I think the Jite would be good against our opponent. We don't have protection from black in a sword. We've got protection from white. But our opponent doesn't have a lot of cards in hand, so I think I'll go for the Jite here. And we'll drop ourselves a SRAM, I think, because we might just have to tap out for Jite next turn. And throw away the Recruiter of the Guard. Swing in with that. Yet another sack outlet in the Starlit Sanctum. Hopefully they get into something to sacrifice. There's a Day of Judgment, so we're not cheating in the Batterskull apparently. So in that case, we'll go for our commander. And we'll go for the land tax as well, so that we'll get into some lands to play. If they make a land next turn, that is. And there's their commander. 4 cards in hand still. And they didn't make a land, so it's not likely we're going to make use of land tax this game. I think they'd actually trade us with the... What to do here? If we get into a land next turn, we can play and equip the Jitte and play the core Blade Master as well. I'm thinking we set up for next turn. We'll go for the Grand Abolisher so that they can't do anything to our play and equip on the Jitte. Like they can't destroy it at instant speed or anything. So let's just, like I said, set up for next turn. We'll go for the Blade Master. That will give our commander double strike. And then we can get a lot of counters on the Jitte. And hopefully our Grand Abolisher doesn't get removed so that we can just do whatever we feel like on our next turn. Now they've gone for a Suture Priest and sacrificing it. In for Phyrexian Arena, sacrifice that with the Phyrexian Tower to make some mana. Oh, they're struggling on black mana, aren't they? That's why they needed to do that. Turns out we would have gotten into a land there, but not to worry. We'll just play out the Jitte and equip the Umezawa's Jitte. And if they want to block here, that's fine with me. We'll draw a card when we swing in as well. And getting into another land, so we want to start getting into equipments now, really. We'll actually be able to remove our opponent's commander here. And they'll be able to sacrifice it in response and get the Suture Priest back, which I'm not really all that bothered about. Let's just get rid of their commander now so that they can't pull any shenanigans during their turn. And there we go, getting rid of the commander, which does get the die trigger when it goes into the command zone. They grab their Suture Priest back, and we'll get rid of that as well. Argument to be made for us saving the counter. There might be something else that we're more worried about. But they'll get another card draw here at least. Getting into the black mana that they were struggling on, and now it is Speaker of the Heavens. They are nowhere close to that. And a Withered Wretch, not really all that worried about that either. So we can keep these out of play quite comfortably, and as long as they can't get into their commander, not really all that bothered about those creatures. They can chump. They can chump with them, unfortunately. So we might as well go in with the core Blade Master. If they block here, then we'll already have counters on the Jitte from the first strike damage, so we can get rid of that before it deals damage to the Blade Master. And we'll draw a card as well. Another equipment would be good. Might just play the Batterskull this turn to have another means of drawing a card if they deal with the Jitte somehow. Just blocking... Yeah, we'll only get first strike damage here, which is good from our opponent. Oh, and actually, yeah, they sacrifice it in response, so we don't get any Umezawa's Jitte triggers. So no damage dealt there. We really want trample on our Akiri so that we still get trample damage through. That would take them off of that little interaction that they've got going there. Let's drop the Batterskull. Don't have the 3 mana to bounce it, unfortunately. And then I don't think they're going to swing into us. Yeah, I don't think I care if they do, to be honest. We'll just keep the Jitte on our commander, then we can give it indestructible if needs be. Continuing to draw cards with the Phyrexian Arena. Sacrificing the Wretch to the Phyrexian Tower. And going for Bolas' Citadel. Let's see how lucky they are with this. They're at 15 life. Going for Exquisite Blood. Can they get into a combo? They'd have to get into it straight off the top. Elspeth conquers death. And going for the Batterskull. Yeah, 1 mana away from bouncing that, unfortunately. We've probably got them next turn, though. They go for the first land off the top with the Temple of Silence. They could maybe have scryed a land to the bottom with that. They want a board wipe here, really. Nope, they don't get into it. Yeah, maybe our opponent was going in for a Wrath of God or a Damnation, something like that. They did the right thing in playing it out. Got some good stuff off the top there, but luckily for us, we managed to outrace them. Got into their sack outlets and didn't get into anything to really chain off with, to be honest, but it's only the same as us, not really getting into our equipments. The Stoneforge Mystic going into the Jitte really helped us there. Anyway, be sure to let me know if you want to see more from Akiri. Didn't have the best of luck in these games, but I think we got some good wins off. Let me know if you enjoyed the game, and be sure to leave it a thumbs up if you did. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.